multiplying a fraction by a fraction, or even a fraction by a whole number, the student should always be doing the problems with manipulatives and drawing pictures. When you're doing this conceptually related to a problem, it makes a lot more sense, and it's easier for the students to solve problems when they don't have to subdivide the multiplicand. So I'm going to show you what that means within a problem. In this lesson, it says Maria went to camp to spend and was doing fun outdoor activities. She spent 3/4 of the day doing activities with her BFF, and then they were hiking for 1/3 of that time. So this problem represents that. This is the multiplier, 1/3 of 3/4 of her day, which is the multiplicand. So we need to represent her day first off. So we need any Cuisenaire or manipulative, whatever you're using there, that would have 4 pieces here. So here's my full day, and 3/4 of her full day, which is, again, that's my multiplicand, which is going to be in the background knowledge quite a bit. She was with her BFF. 1/3 of that time, she was hiking. If you look here, I already have split her time with her BFF into 3 pieces because there's 3/4 of her day. So it's really easy to say this is 1/3, this is 1/3, that's 1/3. It makes a lot of sense conceptually when we have our manipulatives in front of us. So 1/3 of the day, she was with her BFF and hiking. 1/3 of the time. It asks what part of the whole day, remembering that her whole day we split up into 4ths. So this part, she wasn't with her BFF at all. 1/3 of the time she was hiking. So it would end up being 1/4. 1/3 times 3/4 equals 1/4 of her entire day. Next problem in this lesson says that Maria spent 1/3 of her time canoeing and 1/4 of that time she was with an instructor. So again, we have our multiplier, 1/4 of 1/3. That's the amount of time that she was canoeing. So I had to find manipulatives here that could represent 1/3. I really could have used the same color, except I know that I'm going to need to take, I have 1/3 of my time, and since I've already worked through this problem, I know that I need to subdivide this. I have a fraction, 1/3, that's already, my whole has already been divided. That's why it's called subdividing, because now I need to divide this up again to find out what 1/4 of that is. So your students will test pieces and see, how can I find out? Nope, that's just half. So I know that they need to be smaller. So I have 1/4 here. Now, if your students would have shown 1/3 with something like this, they would realize that they can't take 1/4 of it, so they would have to try it again. This problem will take a little bit longer to explore with. So now 1/4, this is the amount of time that Maria was canoeing. 1/4 of this time she was with an instructor, so the rest of the time she was not with an instructor. The question says, what part of the day did she spend canoeing with an instructor? Again, if this is her whole day, I need to find out what is 1/4 of 1/3. So she would have to subdivide each of these pieces into 4. And some of your students might start to generalize that if this is divided into 4, this section is also going to be divided into 4 pieces. So then I would know 4, 8, 12, I'm going to have 12ths, and I only have one of those 12ths when she was canoeing with an instructor. So 1/12 of her whole day she spent canoeing with her instructor. And that's what it looks like when you multiply fractions with subdivision.